Right, good morning, welcome back. Okay, HayaBusa, day 4. Now, if you know this bike and this channel, you know that I've already replaced just about every consumable part on this bike in previous projects. Headstock bearings, wheel bearings, swing arm bearings, shock link bearings, every seal, fork seals. Forks were rebuilt with new chrome stanchions, so there's nothing that's worn out. Even chain sprockets, tyres, brake pads, everything is new. All the calipers are rebuilt with new TRK stainless pistons, so nothing like that needs to be done. This is just a visual makeover to give it a new style. So it's stripped and ready to go. So today, for day 4, let's assemble the rear end. Right, now this is a Suzuki GSXR 1000 K4 back end. The entire rear end, frame, panels, lights, everything, under tray, and it's an aftermarket under tray as well, nice looking one. So this doesn't fit straight on to a HayaBusa normally, they don't just bolt on, so I'm afraid no, I don't have a link, and no, I can't tell you where it came from, because it's a one-off. This was built by somebody, the frame was modified by him to fit his Gen 2 HayaBusa. So it'll bolt onto mine with a little bit of modification, because mine's a Gen 1. There's a few tiny differences that's no difficulty at all to get over. So the first thing to do is to strip all the plastics off it, get it down to the bare frame, and bolt that onto the bike first. Right, and a wonderfully talented bloke that I got this from, he made all this modification from scratch. If we look down the bottom here, the battery crate is made out of 3mm aluminium sheet, and it's proper solid, and it's welded into the frame underneath, on top. It braces everything at the front, and also these tubes here on the top have been extended about 3 inches, and he hasn't welded tube onto the end of the tube, he's welded bar. Probably slugged it up inside, as far as I remember he said, and then ground it back, and then drilled through and tapped them. So that's proper solid. But the one thing, feeling it, it is aluminium, and it doesn't weigh much. My old one weighed quite a lot, because I did the Calf Racer style frame out of steel tubing. So feeling the weight of that, and wondering at the weight of that, we've got to find out, haven't we? There's the old one. 5.13 kilos. Comparison. 2.78. Old bodywork, 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. 1.71. Right, there's an interesting mixed set of results there. The overall weight saving, we've got 6.85 on the old frame and panels and 5.19 on these panels and frame. So the overall saving is 1.65 kilos, 3.5 pounds lighter on my new tail. Not that it really matters, to be honest, it's a HayaBusa, but interesting point though. The tail frame here, all aluminium, is lighter than that includes a load of steel, but the plastics here are heavier. My aluminium seat panels come to a lot lighter than this plastic. Interesting, and that's why when I took all the plastics off the bike, all that big heavy fairing off the front and the big frame that holds it on and all the belly pan fairing, I saved 20 kilos, which is why that bike, when you twist the throttle in second, it picks the front up. Right. Boom, 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 boom. Right, as you can see, a little bit of force needed to get the bottom two in, and the top two won't go in at all. Nothing like this should be forced in. That's not correct. I think what it is, this is made for a Gen 2, this is a Gen 1. It all lines up, it's just these are a little bit wider, and I imagine probably, maybe the Gen 2, they made the main part of the frame here just a little bit wider because this has been made to fit a Gen 2. So all I've got to do is, as all this is braced with metal braces in between, nothing's going to flex and bend, and I don't want to flex or try and put any force on the frame. So instead, I think the easiest solution here is get a flap disc, a little tiny bit of relief on the outside of these faces, just so that it slips in nice and snug. Let's actually measure the difference. Frame is 264.5. Main frame is 264. Right, 0.5 millimetre difference is nothing more than just a dress with a file on each side, taking 1/4 millimetre off each. That's a coat of paint, and that's all it is. It's a bit cruddy on the outsides. It's kind of wiggling in, but it's wedged. Don't want that. So let's get that dressed on the outsides by hand, get that slipping in, then we can measure the top. That's better. Right, well the wiring for this couldn't be simpler. We've got an LED rear light on the back of this that incorporates the indicators as well. There's the indicator factory wires. I've got the indicator factory wires on mine. They're even the correct male-female combination, so they literally will just poke straight in. Not so with the actual light plug itself, it's just a different plug, but it's the same wires. It's a case of snapping the plugs out and changing them over. That's it. So the rear wiring is plug and play. The same goes for the electronics, such as the ECU, regulator, rectifier, and the battery. That will all just plug in and secure nicely. I'm going to use some Velcro pads to hold those down onto the under tray and then secure everything in place. That's just a dry build for now. I'll put it all together and sign it all off later on. I just want to get the tail fitted. I've got the seat as well. That's got to be sculptured out and recovered, but all of it is underway and I'm really happy with that shape and that look. That's exactly what I wanted. So join us in the next one. We'll turn this way. We'll make a start on the front.